Now please rise for the justices and the judges of the court. Please be seated. Now for the opening of the court, the Honorable Michael Gadola.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The special session of the Court of Appeals of the State of Michigan is now in session. The Honorable Chief Judge Michael F. Gadola presiding. God save the United States, the State of Michigan, and His Honorable Court. Please be seated if you already have.
Thank you, Juan. I wasn't sure if we'd done the hear ye thing either, so I'm glad we did, because this is a session of the court. I am Mike Gadola. I'm the Chief Judge of the Court of Appeals. Welcome, everyone, to this intimate gathering of Judge Bazzi's closest friends and admirers. I understand Ford Field was booked, so we had to move the event here to Dearborn, and we're all, of course, very happy to be here. As I always do at these investitures, because it is a session of the Court of Appeals, I threaten the lawyers that I will ask them questions, or I might ask them questions. I did that Monday at Judge Korobkin's investiture. I didn't ask any questions, nor did any of my colleagues. Today I will be asking questions, so all the attorneys be forewarned and know you may not rest on your briefs. My job here is very simple. I have to introduce the judges and other dignitaries who are present, and it is, however, not surprisingly, a long list of judges who wish to be here to honor Judge Bazzi, so please bear with me. And I apologize in advance, apologies from this Irish Roman Catholic who will butcher a few of the names here, I'm quite sure, but I will do my best, and again, my apologies in advance. So beginning with the judges of my court, the Michigan Court of Appeals, and judges, if you would just raise your hand and give a wave as I introduce you, and hold your applause until the very end. First of all, our Chief Judge Pro Tem, Judge Stephen Borrello, Chief Judge Emeritus, Judge Christopher Murray, Judge Annika Letica, Judge James Redford, Judge Seema Patel, Judge Christina Garrett, Judge Adrienne Young, Judge Philip Mariani, Judge Matthew Ackerman, Judge Christopher Trebilcock, Judge Daniel Karabkin, and of course, the Honorable Judge Bozzi. From our Michigan Supreme Court, our Honorable Chief Justice Megan Kavanaugh and Justice Kimberly Thomas. Thank you, Justices, for being here. We appreciate your presence. Now, from our trial court bench, from the First Circuit Court, Judge Michael Brown. From the Third Circuit Court, and let's hope that no one in Wayne County needs an emergency TRO this evening, because I think all the judges are sitting on stage with me. Chief Judge Patricia Frazard, Judge Paul Cusick, Judge Nicole Goodson, Judge Darnella Williams-Claiborne, Judge Adrienne G. Scruggs, Judge Mark Slavens, Judge Prentice Edwards Jr., Judge Bradley L. Cobb, Judge Susan DeBaja, Judge Halal Farhat, Judge Charlene Elder, Judge Michael Hathaway, Judge Lawrence Ellisall, Judge Kellyanne Ramsey, Judge Ivana Abraham, Judge Donald Knapp Jr., Judge Nicole Casca, Judge Anne Marie McCarthy, now that one I can pronounce, Judge Todd E. Briggs, Judge Adele Harb, Judge David Allen, Judge Chandra Baker Robinson, and Judge Jack Gillis was here. He's not on my list, but I saw him as he walked in. There's Judge Gillis, and referee Erica Morgan. From the Sixth Circuit Court of Oakland County, Judge Yasmin Polis. From the 10th Circuit Court, Judge Julie Gaffkay, and Judge Andre Borrello, and at long last, I get to meet the smarter and better looking Borrello. From the 22nd Circuit Court, Judge Janan Hamoud. From the district courts of our state, the 19th District Court, Judge Salam Salameh, Judge Jean Hunt, Magistrate Ali Hamoud, Magistrate Rula Ayun, and Magistrate Doraed Elder. I hope I pronounced that correctly. From the 20th District Court, Judge Mark Plawecki, Judge David Turfey, Magistrate Mona Fadlala, and Magistrate Jessica Shiab. From the 31st District Court, Judge Alexis Croft. From the 36th District Court, Judge Chastity Youngblood. From the 39th District Court, Judge Aliyah Marie Hakim. From the 45th District Court, Judge Janine Powell Horowitz. Thus endeth the naming of the judges. We have other dignitaries present. Of course, most notably, our Lieutenant Governor, Garland Gilchrist II, who will be speaking to us in a short while. Governor, we're honored by your presence here today. I want to just take a moment to say a couple of words of my own about Judge Bozzi. Point of privilege as the Chief Judge. I know I'm not on the program to speak, but I promise to be brief. I haven't yet had the pleasure of sitting with Judge Bozzi. In fact, virtually all of my time with her has been spent at judicial investitures, of which we've had many, and one yet to come in the next couple of weeks. But in my interactions with her, I can say that in my estimation, she is a bright light. And she is most certainly a woman of action. As I'm sure everyone in this room knows, she was an assistant Wayne County prosecutor before ascending to the judiciary. She handled thousands of criminal cases in Wayne County. After her appointment to the Wayne Circuit Court in 2017, she oversaw a mental health court docket and served on the executive committee of that court. I also think it's worth noting that Judge Bazzi has now received appointments from two governors of differing political parties. And I think that's a great testament to her ability as well as to her impartiality, and she's to be commended for that. It's a great honor to have received appointments from these two governors of our state. The Supreme Court appointed her to the Michigan Continuing Judicial Education Board when she was on the Wayne Circuit Court. She's also, as you all know, been very active in this community. She was elected to the Dearborn Board of Education and the Henry Ford College Board of Trustees, and she chaired both of those boards. Somehow, she managed to raise 3 children with her husband, Abdul, 2 of whom I had the pleasure of meeting on Monday at Judge Koropkin's investiture in Ann Arbor, and the 3rd of whom, the youngest, I met just before we got underway today. So, Judge Bazzi, congratulations. I look forward to sitting with you. I hope it happens when our calendar comes out for next year. I'm sure it will, and I will certainly look forward to it. With that, I will be happy to turn things back over to our Mistress of Ceremonies, Feiruz Saad, sister of Judge Bazzi. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief Judge. Now I invite you to rise again. And I would like to invite the Dearborn Police Honor Guard for the posting of the colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Now please stay standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by our niece and nephew, Ali and Bella Saad.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. At this time, I would like to invite Imam Muhammad Ali Ilahi of the Islamic House of Wisdom for the invocation.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Before we begin the dua and invocation, I'd like to say congratulations to the Honorable Judge Bazzi for this inspiring investiture as she takes greater responsibility to serve a higher court. And also congratulations to our Honorable Governor Whitmer for selecting a right person for a right position. And I absolutely agree with Governor Whitmer that Judge Bazzi will bring years of experiences to the Court of Appeals. Of course, with knowledge, and dedication, and dignity, and hard work, and compassion, and humility. And I saw Haj Arif Saad as I arrived here. Congratulations to my friend, old friend, Haj Arif, and entire Saad family and Bazzi family. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. اللهم وفق السيدة القاضية مريم بزي لما تحب وترضى واجعلها قوامة بالحق والعدل ناصرة للمظلوم واعصمها من كل سوء يؤدي إلى ظلم أو فساد. O God of grace and guidance, eternal source of light and life, love and loyalty, hope and healing, peace and justice. We thank you for bringing us together this evening at this art center to celebrate the successes and service of the Honorable Judge Mariam Saad Bazzi. O compassionate and merciful Creator, bless every participant in this gathering this evening with health, happiness and success. Especially bless Judge Bazzi in her new direction with strength, courage, vision and determination. Illuminate her mind with your light so that she may see the truth in moments of chaos and confusion. Fill her heart with the peace of your presence during times of uncertainty, fear, and frustration. Let her work be a reflection of your care for the victims of violence, cruelty, crime, and injustice. O Allah, justice is your central command, found in the Bible, in the Quran, and echoed through our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence, and even, we just heard it, in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please make Judge Bazzi an instrument of your wisdom, love, and justice, serving truth and fairness in the court, the community, the country, and all humanity. Ameen, ameen, ameen.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Feiruz Saad, and I am Judge Bazzi's sister, and I will be your MC for the evening. Some of you may recognize me because many of you have confused me for Mariam over the years. In fact, many of you tonight have confused me for Mariam. And I'd like to highlight a few instances in which it really emphasized just how pervasive it truly is. One day, I got a text from مريم. Someone just said hello to me, gave me a kiss. I don't know this person, so I assume that was for you. Another time, while out with friends, someone yelled to me, "Hey, I think I know you from court." I immediately texted مريم, and her response, "Run." I probably put them in jail. So she gets kisses, and I get yelled at. But it is a reminder of her sacrifice and just how hard Maryam's work is as a judge, and how the weight and impact of her decisions reverberate more than many of us could understand, besides those on the stage here. My son Laith recently asked me, "Aren't judges supposed to be serious? Why is Khalto Maryam always joking?" And that's the remarkable thing about Maryam. While she takes her job seriously, she's still able to just be Maryam with so many of us. And so, with that, I'd like to thank you all for being here today and being part of this important investiture for me and my family. Now for the speakers. Our first speaker needs no introduction. She has fought tirelessly for this community as a Solicitor General, a Deputy Attorney General, and currently as a Managing Attorney for Miller Johnson. And personally, I'd like to say, as an Arab American in DC, I'm often asked if I'm related to one Arab or the other. I usually roll my eyes. We don't all know one another. And then I started receiving messages asking if I knew about the first Arab Muslim woman to argue a case in front of the Supreme Court. Do you know her? It just so happens I do, and I'm happy to call her my friend. Please welcome Fadwa Hamoud.
Good evening. Friends, family, community, and most of all, Judge Maryam Saad Bazzi. Before I begin, I should tell you, in true Judge Bazzi fashion, she couldn't resist giving me instructions for tonight's speech. Because for Maryam, everything comes with a checklist. And one thing on tonight's list, Fadwa, just please don't make it about me. I wasn't surprised by that request. What did surprise me is that she gave it to me because Judge Bazzi knows I don't always follow instructions. But the truth is, I anticipated she would say that. Because her life's work has never been about chasing titles or collecting praise. That is the essence of who she is. Humble, grounded, and always mindful that her achievements are never hers alone. Every step she's taken, she's carried the imprint of her community. She knows well that being the first is not about standing apart. It's about bringing everyone in with you. That is why she insists that this honor belongs to all of you as much as it belongs to her. When Governor Whitmer and Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist appointed Judge Bazzi to the Michigan Court of Appeals, she carried with her more than just a title. She carried a defining moment. A defining moment for every young girl who once wondered if her dream could survive her doubt, and now sees it can. A defining moment for every immigrant mother, every immigrant father who sacrificed so their children could go further and now see their sacrifices turn into history. A defining moment for every mother who has balanced work and family, proving that a career does not compete with motherhood, it strengthens it, and the two together can build a legacy. A defining moment for every man like Abdul Aboudi, who stands beside his partner, knowing that when women rise, when our mothers rise, when our daughters rise, we all rise. This defining moment is not just a chapter in Judge Bazzi's story, it's a turning point in ours, a promise to the next generation that their seat at the table is waiting. But let me be clear, her presence on the bench is not symbolic, it's substantive. She is here because of her brilliance, because of her judgment, and because of her clarity of thought and the depth she brings to the law. So yes, Judge Mariam Saad Bazzi is a brilliant jurist. But since I'm here on behalf of her friends, it's only fair I spill a little truth and tell you about Mariam, the fabulous friend. She's the friend who will show up at your house at 10 p.m. just to help you tear into a stack of shopping bags, because she takes a wardrobe review as seriously as case review. She's the kind of friend you always want to ride with, because she has the best taste in cars. And of course, it's not just any car, but happens to be a Corvette with yellow seatbelts, because Mariam has never been afraid to pair elegance with edge. And when the music hits, she's the friend who reminds you why the DJ showed up in the first place. But above all, she's the friend who reminds us how good it feels to be truly seen and cared for. The kind of friend who makes you want to be a better one. So as I close, Your Honor, Judge Mariam Saad Bazzi, please forgive me for not following your instructions to the T. But like always, you were right. Looking around this room, I know and I feel that this moment is not just about you. It truly belongs to all of us, because you have carried your community with you at every step, and tonight you have given us all a reason to celebrate ourselves in your story. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fadwa. Our next speaker has been a giant among us and tireless advocate for the Arab American community for decades, and is known for his fearlessness to speak up in the pursuit of truth. You all know him as the founder and publisher of the Arab American News, but also as someone, and certainly in our family, as someone who is always ready to support us. Mr. Osama Siblani, please join us to give your remarks.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Chief Judge Gadola, I wanted to say that your pronunciation of Arab name were very, very good. But if you need improvements, we would like to invite you to come more often to Dearborn to meet Muhammad, Ali, and Hassan. I have stood before judges before, but not as many as we have tonight. Good evening, everyone. Honorable Judges, Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, Honorable Judge Mariam Saad Bazzi and her family, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, once again, good evening, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us on such a beautiful evening. to celebrate together the investiture of a well-deserving judge to be seated on the Michigan Court of Appeals. Brothers and sisters, tonight we gather to celebrate a remarkable jurist and a proud daughter of Dearborn, Judge مريم سعد بذلك. Her appointment to the Michigan Court of Appeals by the Honorable Governor Gretchen Whitmer is not only a recognition of her excellence, but also a source of immense pride to the Arab American community in Michigan and across the nation. Thank you, Gretchen Whitmer. Judge Bezzi's story is one of dedication, service, and achievement. After graduating from Fulton High School, she earned her degree in political science, that's my favorite subject, from the University of Michigan, Dearborn, even though I'm an engineer, and went on to receive her law degree from Wayne State University. I don't know what's happening to the Wayne State University these days. She then dedicated more than a decade to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, and here I'd like to salute Wayne County prosecutors, my sister Kim Worthy, who is not here because she's out of town, where she handled complex and high-profile cases and rose to lead the mortgage and deed fraud task force, protecting families and neighborhoods from predatory schemes. Beyond the courtroom, she gave back through public service, winning election to the Dearborn Board of Education and the Henry Ford College Board of Trustees, where she had the honor of serving as chair for both bodies. Also, Mariam served her community as a president of the Arab American Political Action Committee, APAC, which yesterday I was chosen as its president, for 4 consecutive years. I'm going to serve 1 year, I promise. Helping young achievers seeking public offices and serving the greater communities. Some of them are here in this very room. Her judicial career began in 2017 when she was appointed by Republican Governor Rick Snyder, who I salute him tonight and say, thank you, Governor Snyder. Please give him a round of applause. To the Wayne County Third Circuit Court. There, she distinguished herself on the bench and earned the confidence of voters through re-election. She was re-elected again to the bench. And now, in 2025, Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer has elevated her to the Michigan Court of Appeals. It is rare, as the Chief Judge said, for a jurist to be entrusted by governors from both major political parties. And when it happens, it means one thing: the person is highly qualified, deeply respected, and unwavering in their commitment to justice. Judge Mariam Saad Bazzi is that person. Once again, on behalf of the Arab American community and the citizens of the state of Michigan, I thank both Governor Snyder and Whitmer for these wise and historic decisions. My appreciation also goes to Wayne County Executive Warren C. Evans, whose leadership and steadfast support for all Wayne County communities, including our Arab American community, has been unmatched. Please give him a round of applause. Well, I don't know what to do in here, but I'm going to have to repeat my thanks to Gretchen Whitmer. She still has a year and a half. Hopefully that she will appoint more Arab Americans to the bench. And also I'd like to thank her for her leadership and her friendship. Judge Bazzi, your success is our pride. And tonight, we celebrate not only your personal achievement, but also the hope and inspiration you bring to all who believe in justice, fairness, and opportunity. Mariam, if you allow me to call you in your first name, Your Honor. I have known you and your family since you were very, very young. I watched you grow into the woman you are today. But knowing you and your potential, I feel that it's only the beginning. And the best is yet to come. Congratulations, my sister, my leader, Mariam.
Thank you, Osama. Our next speakers encompass so much about Judge Bazzi. Noor, with her witty humor, often targeted at my children. Zain and his competitiveness, and Yusuf and his good-natured attitude. And all three of them and their strong moral character and ethics. With that, I would like to invite Mariam's children, Zain, Noor, and Yusuf, to give remarks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zain Bazzi, and I'm very proud to stand here today as the son of Miriam Bazzi. This is a very special moment for my mom and for all of us who love her. Growing up with her, I've seen firsthand her dedication, her kindness, and her determination. She's always been someone who puts others before herself, who works hard without recognition, and never gives up on what she believes in. Today's investiture is not just an honor for, Today's investiture is not just an honor for her, it's also a recognition of her values she has lived by every day. To me, she's not only my mom, but she's also my role model. She shows me what it means to lead. So on behalf of our family, I want to say how proud we are of you, Mama. Congratulations, you deserve this.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yusuf. I'm the youngest son of my parents, مريم and Abdul. I know all you guys know the strong person my mom is, from taking on cases to opening elevator doors. I know her as the kind, gentle, sweet heart she has, and what she has done for her friends, career, and family. She's a role model to me and my siblings, and she has built herself from the bottom up. She is well respected in our community, and it makes me feel proud to be her son. Through all the ups and downs me and my mom had, I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else. I love you so much. Congratulations.
Okay, last but not least, me. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. This moment is not only personal to me, but also historic. I have the honor of standing here to celebrate someone who has been my role model since day one, my mother. Tonight, we aren't just marking a milestone in her career, we are witnessing history as she becomes the first Arab American woman appointed to the Michigan Court of Appeals. This isn't just a victory for our family, but a breakthrough for representation and a step forward for Arab American women everywhere. Most of you know her as Judge Bazzi, but I know her as the mom who somehow managed law school while raising kids, never missed a carpool, and always reminded us during sibling arguments that she literally knew how to put people in jail. From her, I learned that true character isn't built in the spotlight, it's shown how you treat people in everyday moments. Her journey didn't start in a courtroom. It begins with my incredible grandparents who immigrated to this country to give their children the chance to dream big and achieve more than they ever imagined. Their sacrifices laid the foundation for this moment. The legal profession has been long dominated by men. When my mother began her career, women were still fighting for a seat at the table. According to the American Bar Association, only 36% of attorneys were women in 2014, a number that has risen to 41% by 2024. Progress is being made, but moments like tonight are proof of how important representation truly is. My mother didn't just navigate those barriers, she dismantled them, showing what's possible for women who come after her. Whether in a courtroom or at our dinner table, my mom has always stood for justice, for fairness, and for family. She didn't simply pursue a dream, she created a legacy. And today we all have the privilege of witnessing that legacy become part of Michigan's history. Thank you.
Thank you, Noor, Zain, and Yusuf. They wrote all of their speeches without using AI, so I think they deserve another round of applause. Our next speaker needs no introduction and is also very hard to miss. He is a friend of the community and a personal friend of mine for about a decade. Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist has a long history of service to this country and this state, currently hoping to become the next governor for the state of Michigan. Please welcome our Lieutenant Governor.
All right, good evening, everyone. It is such a privilege to join a celebration of excellence. And that is what this investiture represents for all of us in the state of Michigan. You see, an investiture is a marker of the beginning of Michigan being different. A person being in a position to make a difference in people's lives in a new way. The appointment of judges is a really powerful and important responsibility of a governor. And as you heard from the speakers, it is about so much more than qualification. The reason I'm excited to participate in this one in particular, in Merriam Bazi's appointment and ascension to the Court of Appeals, is because I think it comes at a moment that's really important, where all of us are currently contemplating what it means to either have a low-quality person or a high-quality person in leadership. And Judge Bazzi is a reflection of the high-quality people in this community and in this state when we are living and doing our best. She's a person who people not only trust, but respect. And Lord knows we need leaders we can trust. People who have been charged with decision-making authority, we must recognize and understand and be able to trust them, because sometimes they know and are exposed to things that we are not. But the only way that we can trust that their decisions will be true is if we trust their heart and their character. That's what we need, not just from judges, but from public servants. And so I am so humbled to be able to be here to say thank you on behalf of everyone who calls the state of Michigan home. I know I represent every public servant, every non-judge, but there are a lot of judges here. But I do want to also acknowledge and represent and say thank you to the other public servants who are here to support Miriam. I see County Executive Evans in the audience. I see Mayor Hammoud in the audience. I see a number of our Wayne County commissioners in the audience. I see Mayor Bazzi. I see the Washington County prosecutor. I see folks here coming to say thank you in advance for the work that you will do. And we commit to you that we will continue to trust you and to trust how you will demonstrate your values and how right they are for this moment and for Michigan. Y'all, we have so much work that we have to do and that we can do together if we're willing to trust one another and work together. So on behalf of all 10 million people who say yes to calling the state of Michigan home every day, on behalf of Governor Gretchen Whitmer, and most importantly, from me to you and your family, thank you for your service. Congratulations, and I cannot wait to see how the Michigan that we know and love is so much different and better because of you. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist. Now for the administration of the oath of office, the Honorable Chief Justice Megan F. Kavanaugh of the Michigan Supreme Court.
Thank you. Very excited to be here today and to have an opportunity to play a role in this historic occasion. As has already been highlighted by other speakers, today is a day of firsts. However, what I want to focus on is that Judge Merriam Saad Bazzi being first is nothing new. I have no doubt that going forward, Judge Bazzi will continue to set the standard to be first in whatever she sets her mind to do. First in compassion and commitment to the community. First in honesty and integrity and faithfulness to the values that we all share. First in making sure that every person who enters her courtroom is treated with dignity and respect and that their rights are protected. And first in solidarity to our constitutions and the laws the people have written for us to follow. Judge Bazzi is not afraid to be first, and I will be proud to be the first to congratulate her once I administer the oath of office. But first, I want to recall what my dear friend and former colleague, former Chief Justice Elizabeth Clement said when Judge Bazzi was sworn in as a judge of the Third Circuit in 2017. Beth had just joined the Michigan Supreme Court after serving as Governor Snyder's legal advisor, and it was Beth who recommended to the governor that he appoint Judge Bazzi to the Circuit Court bench here in Wayne County. At the investiture, Justice Clement said it was a very, very, very easy decision to recommend Judge Bazzi to the governor after having interviewed her and recognizing her commitment to public service, to her community, and to the law. And likewise, I think it was a very, very, very easy decision for Governor Whitmer to appoint Judge Bazzi to the Michigan Court of Appeals, because her commitment to public service, to her community, and to the law is second to none. So finally, I wanted to note something that I recently read about Judge Bazzi. In an interview, she was asked what made her feel qualified to run for office and to serve. And her answer was, there is no magic moment when a person becomes more qualified for a particular seat. What makes a person qualified is their understanding of the office they are seeking and its obligations, their desire to learn, their open-mindedness, their ability to put their constituents before them, and most importantly, their not being afraid to change their minds or beliefs. I think her answer is profoundly apt for the position of a Court of Appeals judge. Serving on the Court of Appeals is perhaps one of the most difficult jobs in our judicial system, and perhaps also one of the most important. Their docket, the court's docket, is immense, and the pace of the work is unrelenting. The legal issues are difficult and are of critical importance, not just to the parties involved in a particular case, but to the people of the state who will be affected by the court's decisions. And importantly, as a court that hears appeals as a matter of right, the Court of Appeals serves a critical role in giving everyone the opportunity to have their positions considered and to have their voice heard. The position of the Court of Appeals judge, perhaps more than any other, should in fact be filled by public servants who understand the office and their obligations in that office, who have a desire to learn, who put their constituents' needs before their own, and most importantly, who are open-minded and not afraid to change their minds. Judge Bazzi is more than qualified to serve. She has the intellect, the experience, the humility, the demeanor, and the integrity needed to serve in this role, and all of us in Michigan will benefit from her service. So Judge Bazzi, would you please approach so I can administer the oath? Please raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Michigan, and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the office of Court of Appeals Judge
the duties of the office of Court of Appeals Judge
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Let me be the first to congratulate you, Judge Bazzi.
I'd like to invite Mama and Baba, Arif and Mehibba for the presentation of the will. At this time, I'd like to invite Father George Shelhoub for a few remarks.
I do not want to add just hacky, but to say the truth has come to life. And the truth tonight, as I have watched this community grow, raising wonderful children, the greatest gift we give our nation is good family. And you did. God bless the womb that carried you, the children that you have, the husband that God blessed you with. And God bless this nation who gives us all chance. So may you always keep justice and mercy together. On behalf of the church that loves you and loves your family, the Basilica of St. Mary's in Livonia, we salute you and we salute all your family. May God always raise you up.
Good evening, everyone. I want to begin first by thanking our Mayor, Abdullah Hamoud, for welcoming us all here and for this really taking care of our city in this amazing center that we are celebrating in this evening. Honor to be in the company of everyone here. Some of you have traveled across the city, some across the state and country, and some from overseas. And I am humbled that despite your busy schedules, and I know how important your time is, I know how important my time is, that you have chosen to spend a few moments of your time with me. Thank you to my childhood friends, my law school study group, my neighbors, my family, my friends, my colleagues, my entire community, for joining me for an event that is meant to celebrate this entire community and the path that has led us here. While my appointment to the Court of Appeals is the conduit of this particular occasion, I am here as a reflection of the dedication and effort this entire community has put into moving the needle forward and achieving what once seemed unattainable. It is not lost on me that I am not the first. That I'm not the first Arab American woman or Muslim American who is certainly qualified to serve in this role. Frankly, there's an audience full of people who I know would be exceptional. But I was given the opportunity to even be considered because of the decades of advocacy and goodwill by the people in this room, in this community, and others who have passed, but the legacy of all that work were the building blocks that made this historic appointment achievable. Everyone knows the Arab American and Muslim community in Michigan. At one point, we were caricatures used to advance outdated and baseless stereotypes. I grew up feeling torn between being proud of my identity and heritage and feeling embarrassed because of the stereotypes that attach to them. Each and every one of us in this room has fought over the years to change those perceptions so that our kids would not have to be told who they are, but they could write their own narrative. While there is still so much to do, our collective growth, solidarity, and activism has made it so that when you advance Arab or Muslim names, you're no longer being told that your name is too ethnic, but you are actually being given the opportunity to apply, be considered, and if qualified, be appointed or elected. We are part of the fabric of what makes this country the best to live in. This appointment is a reflection by our governor that we are part of that fabric and deserve to be represented in these roles. And so I say this again, and I mean it with sincere humility. This is not about celebrating me, nor should it be. It is about celebrating the breaking of another glass ceiling and the promise of so many more to come. But I am grateful and humbled to be the person who was given this great honor, and so I want to take a few moments to thank and express my gratitude. For those individuals who specifically helped me through this process, I thank you. For fear of missing someone, I will not mention names, but know that your time, your words of encouragement, your advocacy is sincerely appreciated, and if I did not thank you personally already, please accept my humblest apologies and know I appreciate you. To the organizations who supported me, I know what it means to put the full force of an entire group of people behind you, and so I want to thank those organizations: NABA, Engage, the Arab American Political Action Committee, Access, ACRL, the Women's Law Association of Michigan, LAHC, the Arab Chamber of Commerce, the American Constitutional Society, and the Michigan Building and Trades Council. Thank you all for your support. I want to thank all my colleagues who are here today. I have been blessed to be a public servant my entire career. Under the leadership of Kim Worthy, I learned what it means to practice law with compassion, ethics, and integrity. I am also grateful for the relationship I built, not only with my fellow prosecutors and law enforcement, but also with all the members of the defense bar. Those experiences and lessons have shaped me, and I will always value that education. I was able to work at the Third Circuit Court, one of the busiest courts in the country, learning how important it is to grow, evolve, and change so that we can continue to meet the needs of the public and litigants who typically come to our courts on their worst days. In every committee I was part of, I learned about the people I work with and the people I serve and grew from sharing. Through mental health court and frankly reading the countless victim impact statements and the pre-sentence reports over the years, I learned so many of us are struggling. It reminded me to always remember to show kindness and compassion. I'm a better person because of all of those collective experiences. Thank you to all of my colleagues at the Third Circuit Court and all the courts across the state who have joined me here today, for coming today, but more importantly, for all the work that you do every day to serve the citizens of this great state. To Chief Judge Godola, thank you for your kind words, and thank you to all of my colleagues on the Court of Appeals. I am so blessed to have joined a group of judges who exemplify the highest ideals we expect from lawyers and judges. I recognize the immensely important role I serve in, many times being the last opportunity for granting relief to the parties that come before us, and I do not take that responsibility lightly. I know from conversations I've had with so many of my colleagues on the stage that sentiment is shared. I thank you all for welcoming me onto the bench with open arms, and I look forward to learning from each and every one of you. I'm sorry I'm not as funny as Judge Murray was hoping I'd be today. To Chief Justice Kavanaugh, thank you for your kind words in swearing me in this evening. As a young child, the idea that a Chief Justice of our Supreme Court would swear me in to serve on the Court of Appeals would have never even entered my thoughts. It simply would have been an impossibility. Your presence here, as well as that of Justice Thomas, have shown this entire room that they may dream bigger than what they believed. You have planted the seeds in the mind of so many by your mere presence, and I humbly Humbly thank you. Thank you, Imam Ilahi and Father Shalub, for your words, prayers, and blessings for this evening. I also want to thank my sister Feiruz for serving as the MC this evening, one of the most passionate and humble people I know. I have seen through her example what it means to serve with the public and your community where your only motivation is simply to help others. While it's not part of my speech, I am going to tell the story of my nephew Laith, who was very upset why I asked Feiruz to travel from Washington, D.C. to come here today because I have so many other sisters who could have done this. Fadwa Hamid, my sister and friend, the first Arab Muslim woman to argue a case in the U.S. Supreme Court, to serve as Solicitor General and then Deputy Attorney General, thank you for your friendship, your support, your kind words, but more so, helping pave the way for all of us. Osama Sablani, thank you for your kind words, but also for being a fearless community advocate at every opportunity, many times putting the cause of your advocacy before yourself. Thank you. To our Lieutenant Governor, thank you, and Governor Whitmer, for your leadership and this great honor. Your supportive members of this community came long before your current role. I want to thank you for always being present. And please convey to Governor Whitmer my sincerest gratitude. Achieving milestones is only possible when you are given the opportunity to prove what you can do. Thank you for giving me and so many others that opportunity. And while I know our CEO, Warren Evans, did not speak today, but I thank you too for everything you have done tirelessly to help advance the community as well. Thank you. To my immediate family, my siblings, Samir, Samar, Feiruz, Muhammad, and Layal, I know everyone says they have the best siblings, but when I say it, it is true. I love you all and appreciate your endless support and love. My in-laws, who are more than siblings, Ahmed, who many of you know as Sunny, Muhammad, Rana, Chris, Muhammad, and Hassan. Judge Godola, we'll just sit down and go through names next time. And all my nieces and nephews. You have been the most amazing cheerleaders, always present and supportive. I thank you all. And of course, I can't forget my mother-in-law, مريم Bezu, who traveled from Lebanon to be here today. Thank you for everything. My parents, Arif and Aida Saad, like so many in this room, you came to this country leaving behind everything that was familiar for the dream of a better life for you and your children. I am in awe of the strength and determination it took you and so many others to make that journey. I thank you for always being there, and regardless of what the challenge was, finding a way to support all of us so that we could dream bigger than what we thought was possible. My journey all began with you. It began with your dreams. And I want to thank my children, Noor, Zain, and Yusuf, who finally did their hair today. I am so immensely proud of the three of you. I know it has been difficult at times. You have taken on more roles than just being children, and I could not have done this without your support. Of everything in life, my greatest moments have been in watching you pursue your own goals, and I look forward to watching you all break your glass ceilings. And to my husband, my rock, the person who has been there with me through thick and thin, Abudi, I am consistently in awe of you and what you have done. I have learned so much from you, and if I push boundaries, it's because I've seen through your example all that can be achieved when you set a goal and move forward with purpose. Every step I have taken, you have been in lockstep with me. I love you and I thank you. And I want to take a moment to recognize that this is all possible because of God's will, love, and grace. Again, thank you all for joining me here today, and please stay, enjoy the company of each other in celebration of this moment. I thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Once again, thank you, everyone. Once again, the Honorable Judge مريم Saad Bazzi. It was an honor to be your MC tonight, regardless of my son's request, and I'm honored to have been chosen amongst my 6 siblings. Before I invite Chief Judge Godola for closing remarks, please remember to join us across the hall for music by the National Arab American Orchestra, a reception with refreshments by Biblos Banquet Hall Joe Bazzi, and dessert by Jamila Haj. Now for the closing of the court.
I'm well aware that I'm the only thing standing between you all and the reception. So I will be brief, but I do have a couple of additional duties before I close the court. First, I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor for cleaning up my mess, because it was my job when I was up here earlier to recognize all of the elected officials in non-judicial office. And I failed to do that. So thank you, Lieutenant Governor. And at this time, there are too many to be recognized individually, but why don't we give a round of applause to all of those serving in elected office. And Governor Gilchrist, I also want to say something that I've said at virtually every one of these investitures since I became Chief Judge, and that is to thank Governor Whitmer. Judge Bazzi is another in an unbroken line of outstanding appointments to the Michigan Court of Appeals, and we appreciate the care that she has dedicated and that you have dedicated to these very fine appointments. And I hope you will carry that message back. I hope to be able to deliver it to her directly in a couple of weeks at Judge Trebilcock's investiture. Finally, Judge Bazzi, I wanted to thank you for sharing your children with us here today. They did an amazing job, and I know that no matter what you may achieve in this stellar judicial career, they will always be your greatest achievement. I want to thank Osama Sablani for recognizing Governor Snyder's role in Judge Bazzi's career, and the Chief Justice for recognizing former Chief Justice Clement's role in elevating Judge Bazzi to the bench. And finally, I have a gift for Judge Bazzi that I'm presenting on behalf of all of her new colleagues on the Court of Appeals. I'm praying that this is it right here. I was told it would be, and indeed it is. This lovely, it looks like a travel case. It's unfortunate she won't be able to take any vacations because she's going to be busy writing opinions, but Judge Bazzi, if you would. There we are. I know she'll put it to good use. I still carry with me today the briefcase I was gifted by my colleagues 10.5 years ago. It's in my car right now, so I know you will get good use out of that. With that, we are adjourned.
All rise, please. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. Special session of the Michigan Court of Appeals now stands adjourned.